speaking 5 languages, doctorate in history, degree in economics, really has a deep knowledge of history and the forces that are out there. I just disagree sometimes with Tarpley's solutions, but I don't know anyone as informed and educated and who has a deep grasp of how things really work than Tarpley. And so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe socialism is the way. Of course, he'll argue and say, Alex, I do not like socialism. This is the American way, what I like. The American system. Roosevelt. Of course, I'm joking. Socialism is not the way. It always produces tyranny and bondage. And the bankers that Tarpley exposes so much are always financing it. But I don't want to get off into a rant about Tarpley. I'm out of control today. This is a short segment, too, but I'm going to get to at least this bank of callers. Let's talk to Rick in Florida. You're on the air. Go ahead. He just dropped off. Perfect timing, Rick. Julio in Illinois, you're on the air.
Alex, apologies. I'm kind of mumbled this morning because I'm getting sick from all these chemtrails. But before I get to what Lindsey Williams spoke of yesterday, if I could ask you for a huge favor at any of the info warriors who are listening, this is a simple thing, but it's going to expose the soon-to-be mafia boss of Chicago, Rahm Sugar Daddy Emanuel. Myself, Gary Franchi, and Wayne Madsen teamed together for an investigative report. If you could Google this, expose Rahm Emanuel. I mean, this gets into how shady Rahm Emanuel is, his secretive past, everything. Expose Rahm Emanuel. It's going to take you to a YouTube clip off of the Google search. If you InfoWarriors could do that, Gary Franchi and I will work.
Sure. I want to do that, Julio. It's just that some days I don't even take calls anymore because we don't screen calls, and it just turns into a wall-to-wall plug fest. The last guy's got this to plug, you've got that to plug, and I enjoy taking calls, but they could become a thing of the past just because the listeners tell us they want to hear guests, they want to actually hear me. I like hearing from you. But I think we actually linked to that video, or it's up on the Alex Jones channel where they break down what a crook Rahm Emanuel is. But if the people of Chicago don't know that, they're getting what they deserve. But then there's the bigger issue, Julio, of how much fraud there is involved in Chicago. I mean, maybe you don't even have voting there. I mean, there is some evidence of even the Kennedy election being fixed out of Chicago, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's mainline history right there, stuffing the ballot box in the Chicago River. But off of that, again, if people could look that up, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, I understand. I heard you.
Quickly, what Lindsey Williams said yesterday, I mean, he's always right. Silver, I've been looking at the price right now. It's continuing to go down due to market manipulation. But my question for you, Alex, in terms of what Lindsey said is, with the way silver's going, could we do more of how they're manipulating the silver market? I know you've done specials with Max Kaiser in the past, but I don't think people really know how deep the silver manipulation is going. And then also, no one's talking about what's happening in Arizona, who this Lochner guy's lawyer is. She represented CIA nut jobs in the past, like the Unabomber, Timothy McVeigh, and someone who was with Al-Qaeda, whose name
whenever you see these lawyers that have represented mind control victims in the past, and it's in the L.A. Times, Alexander Cockburn had an article on it. It was declassified that Kaczynski was in MK-Ultra program. He's in the mind control program, but then we don't understand this was a staged event. And this Lochner thing, it's got all the telltale signs. I agree with you, Julio. Great points. We're going to be right back with more calls.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Okay, let's go back to your calls here, trying to get to all of them that I can ahead of two guests coming up. Let's talk to John in Ohio. John, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex. Well, I guess the whole rest of the nation, as evidenced by Chris Matthews, are going to get the same treatment that people from Kentucky, West Virginia, and Mississippi have been getting now for the past 60 years, because for whatever reason in Hollywood, if you notice the way they portray in movies, you'd have Dazed and Confused, which was done in Texas, which was portrayed pretty even-handedly. You transfer that movie to Eastern Kentucky, where my family was from, it would have been down, stupid, everything else. So they've been bashing everybody like this for a long time, but they're now expanding the bashing program, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's right. Everybody who lives in the South is married to their sister and has no teeth and is scum, and anybody that owns a gun hates black people. And then I see black folks on TV going, yeah, these racist whites want their guns. Don't those poor black folks know the first gun laws were disarming black people after slavery ended, because folks in the North and the South said, we're not going to have these black people owning guns so they can protect themselves? I mean, it's so sick to watch the poverty pimps that sell race and all of this division. And they sell feminism, admittedly CIA-funded, Miss Magazine, to break up the families so we're all isolated so the state can come in and control our lives, and to watch them up on their high horse and to watch him say, you're a cracker. That's the equivalent of N-word to black people. You're a cracker, and it's a white guy saying it, and it's supposedly cute and funny. They want race war. They want racial division. They want to be the referee. They lied and said that the shooter out in Arizona was a white guy, was a white supremacist, though that turned out to be false. He was a guy drugged out of his mind. If he was anything, he was a mainline liberal. And now more and more is coming out on that front. These people are a pack of liars. But here's the good news. 10 years ago, that hoax they ran would have worked. Within days, the hoax was exposed, and now you notice they've dropped it. And now it's all about mental health. Oh, we need to get everybody screened in America to see if you're mentally ill. Then they want to give you drugs that on record make you go psychotic, make a certain percentage become violent. Then we'll have an even bigger epidemic of this type of stuff happening.
Alex, and another thing I wanted to tell you was I believe instead of the scenario, we are headed towards another scenario I call the perfect storm. I believe that 2012 is a real thing only in the sense of this. I think there is going to be destruction, but the question is, I believe it's going to be government-made destruction. I think there's a guy named George Green who was on a Project Camelot. I don't know if he's true or not, but he has said something about there is a group that is planning a destruction of the United States in a couple areas using neutron weapons and stuff like that, and this is the reason why they've built the Denver airport and the other places. The Bushes are moving to Paraguay, and a bunch of other things is going on right now. And I think with 2012, 2013, we're going to see the slave system, the full destruction come in the next 2 years, 2, 3, 4 years.
Well, actually, Bertrand Russell, Nobel Prize winner, and many others have openly discussed using neutron bombs on the people of the world. They said they'd have to have a global government first to then carry out a coordinated neutron bomb attack simultaneously through the United Nations of all the major capitals, Tokyo, Moscow, London, Paris, New York, D.C., all the major city centers to reduce the world population for the Earth. And it only kills the life forms in the cities and then allow the rewilding of that because humanity is, quote, a cancer. And so I have seen a lot of discussions. Cheney wrote in the PNAC document, September 20th, 2000, Rebuilding America's Defenses, about the use of race-specific bioweapons. He said, no, we need to get the media to condition the public that race weapons are good. And so, yes, they have all these weapons, and they are openly discussing it. I appreciate your call, John. Really good point on that front. I'm going to get into the cracker comment in a moment if you think I'm joking. See, when they hype up racism and they don't like black people and all day, that's meant to get us at each other's throats. And if that won't work, then it'll be mobilize the, quote, minorities, who are really the majority now in this country, together against cracker. But not the cracker up there race pimping, Chris Matthews. See, he's a master cracker. He's a controller cracker. So all of us that don't want to be under government-run health care and the death panels that are now admitted, first they denied it, we're dirty crackers. And see, then that kind of rekindles. Well, it's all right to be racist against a cracker. That's why I've got to see the names of Hispanic radio and TV stations called the La Infosora, the Raza, which means the race, the La Reconquista, the reconquering. So the invasion, the reconquering, the race. La Raza has giant functions with hundreds of thousands of people meeting, you know, at daily, at yearly events on a single day across the country. And I've seen the tapes of it and played it with mayors and Congress people saying whites are evil, soon they'll be dealt with, yay, rah, 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 and just huge crowds of people, raza, raza. And it's like, but then, and then Matthews is like, shut up, crackers. See, all of that is okay. See, so they're openly saying it's okay to hate white people. They're the devil. They're the bad men. And that's only because the globalists are going to try to get us all fighting with each other as we go into this depression. And the globalists always use, quote, outsiders or people that are seen as outsiders because then they will come in and be oppressors. I've had members of parliament on from England who will, you know, admit that about half their CPS are foreigners who can't even speak English. Because they come from authoritarian countries, mainly white Eastern Europeans, not bashing white Eastern Europeans. It's just they're finding white Eastern Europeans who like to steal kids, who like to oppress, who grew up in that, who like the authority, who like the uniforms. And so they're unleashing hell upon everybody. But, I mean, it's incredible. I could have Glenn Spencer. In fact, maybe call Spencer and see if he's not on the road. Have him hook up his computer clips so we can hear the mayor of L.A. and all them talk about going.